Hi friends, it's Miss B. Happy first day of spring. It was 85 degrees here in North Carolina yesterday and sunshiny. Today not quite so sunshiny, but I had that idea about nature mosaics, and so I thought I would take you outside in my backyard to gather some materials for mosaic making, nature mosaic making, and maybe you have an outdoor space you can find some materials too. We'll see what we can find. So I think I found something. Here is my backyard. There's my shed, fire pit, there's my house. And you're probably saying, well, Miss B, I don't see anything there for mosaic making. But what I'm seeing are these seed balls. There's a few here. There's one here. And so I'm just going to gather up some of these. Put in my basket. See what else we can find. There's another group of them, so I'll get some of those. If you don't have a backyard, maybe you can go to the park. Maybe you have another outdoor space that you can find some outside materials to bring home. You can't usually gather materials at a state or federal park, so be careful of that. Let's gather that pine cone. Look at that beautiful design. And if you're on someone else's property, of course, ask permission if you can gather up some items. There's some more pine cones. We'll get a few of those. Hopefully we won't see a snake back here every once in a while. Let's get a few sticks. You're probably thinking, oh, Miss B, you're crazy. How can we make mosaics with sticks? But we're going to take some just in case. Put them in the basket. Let's see what else. I have a few daffodils left. Most of our daffodils have already bloomed. We do have some violets and clover blooming in the grass. Let's see if I can find some of those. There's some violets. There's pretty little purple flowers. Get a couple of those to add some color to our basket. See if I can find some more. There's my blueberry bush. There's a little patch. Add some more. I think these wild violets are so pretty, such a pretty purple color. I think I had another big patch of them over here with some clover. Oh, there's some. My dad, awesome. Here's some clover. My dad used to be able to just look down at any old patch of clover. He always could find a four-leaf clover. Have you ever found a four-leaf clover? I have found a few, but my dad was the master at it. Oops. Oh, I was going to see if I could find some acorns. I have squirrels that are in my yard here in North Carolina, and they like to climb right up here and leave the shells of the seeds they eat. So we'll get those too. Alright, got quite a few little things in my basket there. I will see you in the studio. So I'm back in the studio with what I found out of my yard, and we're going to see what we can make with those things. Hopefully you're following along and you found some interesting things that you can use for your nature mosaic too. So I had gathered up those clovers, which I think are really bright, pretty green. Normally in nature you do want to be careful about plants that have 3 leaves. I don't know if you've ever heard leaves of 3, let them be, but that's something to remind you about the safety of nature, and that although it's beautiful, there are things that sting and bite and that are poisonous. And normally with plants that have 3 leaves, you don't want to touch them, like poison ivy. But I knew that these are clovers, and so it was safe for me to pick. When you are looking at things in your nature area and you're not sure, then ask a parent or a grown-up. So here's my clovers. Don't know what I'm going to do with them. I got some of those acorn hulls and some bark and the sticks and the gumballs, and there's a flower that was almost used up, and a lot of those beautiful violets. And I think I still have some of my rocks and shells and things from one of our last videos we were working on together. So let's see if we can make a person with all of these materials. I like the sticks are reminding me of legs. Maybe something like that. I'm really loving this clover. Maybe that could be hair. Not sure. We'll gather it up here and see. There was an artist who lived a long time ago that liked to use fruits and vegetables to make art, and you can probably Google that to find out more specifically. He had an unusual name, so I won't try to pronounce it now. Maybe I'll try to write it in the captions down here at the bottom if I can look it up. And his art was really interesting because he always made portraits of people, of their faces, using different fruits and vegetables. And it was always a fun thing to look at because the way that he used the fruits and vegetables really made you feel like you could understand the personality of the person. So if you look him up, you'll see what I mean. But we'll see if we can come up with a friend here. Let's see, something for the face. Let's use this for the face. I don't know, is that starting to look like hair a little bit? Maybe. Move that a little bit. What can we use for the body? Maybe the bark. That seems like a good choice. Could even layer some pieces. Now this kind of gets more towards collage instead of mosaic, but I like a pretty loose definition of mosaic. I like thinking of mosaic as new pictures and patterns that you make from little pieces of things. So we'll stick with that idea for now. Here's, what can I do with these acorns? Hulls. Not sure. It would make really big ears. Let's try that. Nope. There's one. That's coming along. Let's see. Put some arms. You can use some of the other materials down at the bottom. Maybe some of the rocks that we gathered the other day, or that I gathered the other day. Move some of these out of the way. Love how these violets look, so I'm going to add another one of those. So there you go. Maybe another way to think about doing some creative projects with materials that you can find. Ooh, she needs a gumball. There you go. That you can find in your own yard, in your own backyard, or at the park. Take a picture of it, and then you can take her apart and make something else. Thanks for watching.